My name is Claire, and the day we buried my grandmother was the same day my brother posted a photo from the Maldives. I wish I were joking. Grandma Evelyn raised us after our parents divorced. She was the kind of woman who remembered birthdays, baked bread every Sunday, and somehow made every problem feel smaller just by listening. When she got sick, I stayed with her. I handled doctor visits, medications, hospital paperwork, sleepless nights, everything. My older brother, Jason, barely visited. He always had excuses. Work is crazy. I'll come next week. Tell Grandma I called. But he never really showed up. Then Grandma passed away quietly one rainy Tuesday morning. And while I stood beside her hospital bed holding her cold hand, Jason was unreachable. The funeral was 3 days later. Family gathered in black clothes, crying softly as rain hit the church windows. Jason never came. Instead, halfway through the service, my cousin looked at her phone and whispered, "Oh my God." She turned the screen toward me. There he was. My brother. Smiling beside a luxury infinity pool in the Maldives. Caption: needed this escape. Life's short. My hands started shaking. Grandma hadn't even been buried yet. After the funeral, I went back to Grandma's house to organize her paperwork. That's when I noticed something strange. Her inheritance account was nearly empty. At first, I thought it was a mistake. Grandma had carefully saved over $240,000 over decades. She always said it would be divided equally someday. But now, almost everything was gone. Wire transfers, luxury purchases, travel expenses, and one final transfer made 2 days before her death. To Jason. My stomach dropped. I called the bank immediately. The representative hesitated before saying, "Your grandmother added your brother as temporary authorized access during her hospitalization." Temporary. Grandma trusted people too easily. Especially family. I sat there staring at the records while anger slowly turned cold. He skipped her funeral. Because he was spending her money. That evening, Jason finally texted me, "Hey, I know you're upset, but Grandma would have wanted me to enjoy life." I actually laughed. Not because it was funny. Because it was unbelievable. I replied, "You stole from a dying woman." 3 dots appeared instantly. Then, I didn't steal anything. I was authorized. Technically, maybe. Morally, absolutely not. Then another message came. Besides, you were always her favorite. You got enough attention already. That one hit differently. Because suddenly everything made sense. This wasn't about money. It was resentment, jealousy, entitlement. And he thought he got away with it. What Jason didn't know was this. Grandma had trusted me with something months earlier. Something he completely forgot about. A month before she died, Grandma asked me to bring her an old wooden box from her closet. Inside were legal documents, property papers, investment records, and a sealed envelope labeled, "Only open if Jason disappoints me again." At the time, I laughed. Now my hands trembled opening it. Inside was a signed amendment to her estate, along with a handwritten note. "Claire, if you're reading this, then Jason has probably chosen selfishness again. I loved him deeply, but love without accountability destroys people. The inheritance account was never the real inheritance. You were the one who stayed. Everything else belongs to you." My breath caught. Attached were ownership documents for Grandma's house, investment portfolio, and rental properties. Worth over $1.8 million. Jason had emptied the small accessible account. Thinking he won. He had no idea Grandma already saw him clearly. The next morning, I sent Jason one photo. The estate documents. Nothing else. He called immediately. "What is this?" he demanded. "This," I said calmly, "is Grandma's actual will." Silence. Then panic. "What do you mean actual will?" I explained slowly. The inheritance account he drained. A monitored secondary fund. The real assets were protected. And because of his financial behavior during Grandma's final days, the amendment reduced his share to almost nothing. "You manipulated her," he shouted. "No," I replied. "You revealed yourself." He started spiraling. Threats, begging, anger, then desperation. "Claire, please. I already spent most of the money." I looked around Grandma's quiet kitchen. The same kitchen where she once waited hours for him to visit. You should have thought about that before posting beach photos during her funeral. And for the first time in his life, Jason had no escape. Months later, life became strangely peaceful. I restored Grandma's house instead of selling it. I kept her garden alive. I turned one of her rental properties into a free housing program for elderly women with no family support. Because that's what she would have wanted. Jason tried contesting the will. He lost. The court reviewed the evidence, the transfers, the timeline, and Grandma's written statement. Even the judge looked disgusted. "We barely speak now. Sometimes people ask if I hate him. I don't. Hate takes energy. And Grandma taught me not to waste energy on people determined to destroy themselves." The last thing she ever said to me was, "Character always reveals itself when money appears." She was right. He thought he stole the inheritance, until he realized Grandma already knew exactly who he was. The end.